Good morning, Dallas Stars hockey fans. This is Jeff with the Dallas Stars Hockey Minute. Well, yesterday after doing my podcast after a couple weeks of processing the conference final loss, the notification that Pete Deboer got fired came out almost simultaneously after that podcast. Well, I don't think it was a done deal for sure until he threw Otter under the bus. It's one thing to pull your goaltender during a game and keep stuff in house, but the way that his exit interview went from the Western Conference file, I feel like he pretty much sealed his fate at that point. You know, he's a great coach that hasn't been able to finish the deal. I was so on board with him when he got hired because I thought, man, finally this man's going to get a Stanley Cup. He deserves one. But apparently he lost the respect in the locker room. The question is now, where do we go from here? There's not a ton of names left that I could even think of. There's names I definitely do not want as our head coach, and if Dallas goes that way, I'm going to be fuming. John Tortorella, do not come to Dallas. I do not want you here. You're old school. You do not fit in the way the NHL works today. Don't get me wrong. You have to be tough as a coach. You do have to, you have some old school, but you got to know how to talk to the players and work with the new age NHL works. And you're not a part of that. You lose the locker room quickly. I unfortunately think at this point in time in your career, you need to retire and move on. You should be done coaching. The name that I have on my list that I want is Jay Woodcraft. Okay, he did coach. He did coach Edmonton before he was fired. Uh, he's a great young coach that knows how to coach young people. Uh, there's another name out there, and I can't remember the name of our Texas Stars coach right now. Uh, they're talking about him being a successor because of all the success that he has had at Cedar Point down there with the Texas Stars. I mean, he's coached Ottinger, he's coached Stan Coven, he's coached a lot of our young players. He has rapport. That might be a way to go, but I'm wondering if that is the answer either. It's just, the big names are already gone. Uh, Tockett's gone. Mike Sullivan's gone. They've already been hired. I was looking at the list. Uh, Garrett Gallant is on the list. He coached Vegas that first season when they went to the Stanley Cup in the inaugural season. Uh, I have to look it up some more, but you know, it's just right now I'm wondering which direction we're going to go. I just want to make sure that we have a guy that understands our young talent in the room. You know, Jake Ottinger was going nowhere. When you signed an 8-year deal with him, you were validating that he was your goaltender for the foreseeable future. But the one thing that really upset me, if you watched the last 3 games of that series, it just didn't feel like they played to help him. I mean, I just don't know where you go from here. There's a rumor about trying to get Eklat from Florida. There's all kinds of rumors going on. Someone even threw Mitch Marner's name out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want that man here. I have no respect for him at all. He's a diva in the locker room. I do not want that in our midst. I do not want that kind of a player around our guys. I mean, there are superstars and there's divas, and he's a diva, and I don't want that a part of our room. So I know there's a lot of stuff in the off season to figure out what's going to happen. Someone put a really fun kind of meme out there. They put Joe Pavelski behind the bench, and as much as that's probably a far out there idea, I think that would be phenomenal, to be honest with you. The 2 years that he played here, he really controlled the room. People respected him. He really helped Wyatt Johnston grow by when he lived with him. He knows the game. He loves the game. I just don't know if they would give a guy that just retired an actual head coaching job, because there's a pecking order in these things. A lot of coaches player coaches, what they do is they normally, become an assistant with maybe an AHL affiliate or NHL affiliate. They work their way up to that point. There's another name out there right now, Steve Ott, enforcer for Dallas. He's an assistant coach with St. Louis right now. I think that's an interesting name. I'm throwing names out there that I'm hearing about right now. I really can't wait to see how the coaching search goes and how quickly that will happen, and how quickly we will have an answer to that question. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Deboer because I do believe he's a good coach. Now, is he greatness? I don't know yet, because he it feels the same like Paul Maurice was for years. Look at him in this third Stanley Cup final, and he won one last year, and I don't know if it's just, has he not found the team that works to his talents yet? But I wish nothing but the best for Pete. But now the search begins. And so there'll be a lot of fun in the next few months to figure out where we're going to go from here. I was really upset when someone wanted to point the finger at Jim Neal on one of my many social media platforms that I look, because I have a lot of stars notifications and stuff. And I want to say right now, whoever said that, you're nuts. Otter was a great goaltending. He just didn't need some help. But Jim Neal is the architect of what's going on in Dallas. He's built a team. This team, I still believe, is built to win a Stanley Cup. I I I believe it with every fiber of my being. I was just hoping that it was going to happen sooner than later. I will continue to watch because I love it. I love this team. Now, maybe it is going to be the right coach is going to come down the line, and it's finally going to transpire for us. I mean, we've only won one, a completely healthy lineup. I don't know how I feel about Jason Robertson maybe being on the chopping block for a trade. I don't like it, because I think that they kind of starting to throw him under the bus, because maybe he wasn't completely healthy in the playoffs when he finally got there too. I'm concerned, but I also know that I have to trust in Jim Neal's judgment. He's a great GM. He's won GM of the year 2 years in a row. I got to trust his process. We don't have a whole lot of cap space. They're trying to clear cap space. Obviously, I think Tyler Sagan's finally going to be let go. I feel like if he didn't get hurt this year, he would have been the old Tyler Sagan, because he started out the gate playing excellent. But injury-prone players are a liability at this point in their careers. Anyway, this is Jeff with the Dallas Stars Hockey Minute. I'll keep you guys updated as I'm watching and figuring out what the next step is. Let's play GM, guys. Let's play the administrative game now, because that's where we are. We didn't make it to the Cup final, but now let's find out what the next step for us to be better is. Go Stars.